Recently, Kanye West has been under a lot of scrutiny from a myriad of interviews posted lately to the internet. First starting off with like Fox News, a few Instagram posts, but most recently, what we're dealing with here is the last Drink Champs episode with Noreaga. Now, there were a few things that was said there. Number one, he talked about George Floyd and the death in fentanyl. He even talked about Puff Daddy being the feds, which is interesting because Drink Champs is actually on Revolt's network. But also, he talked about some things about anti-Semitism, if you want to talk about that. And really what I want to focus on is the fact that he said that the people who own the hip hop community benefit off of black crime. You know, like, I'm going to shoot this person, I'm going to screw this person's girlfriend. And if you go look at Apple Music, those are the top songs that are there. And the people who own that music and push that narrative are not black, right? And because of that, the interview was pulled, okay? Now, what I want to do is I'd like to play Dr. Boyce Watkins' clip, because I think he has some pretty good information here about how he felt about that. Then we'll come back.
So I just saw Noreaga apologizing for his interview with Kanye West on Drink Champs. Now, I'm not telling you to agree with Kanye. You don't have to agree with Kanye to hear what I'm having to say right now. The reality is that black people don't have freedom of speech if they say things that certain white folks don't like. All right, so Nore is on Breakfast Club apologizing. You saw Snoop on the apology tour. You saw Nick Cannon on the apology tour. Noreaga's on the apology tour. And he said something that was really very telling, if you pay attention. He said, the show's called Drink Champs, not Think Champs. So basically what you're saying is that media is good for black men to get on there yucking it up. It's okay for black men to call each other the N-word. It's okay for black men to rap about murdering each other. It's okay for us to get on there and act like clowns. But when you start thinking, oh, well, that's a problem. That means we got to censor that. We got to shut that down. We got to start editing now. But you ain't never edited none of the hip hop music that's killing black people. You ain't never edited none of this music out here that's getting kids hooked on dope. You ain't never challenged certain communities who own these damn record labels for the poison they are consistently putting into our community. But yet you want to censor Kanye because he says something that Jewish people don't like. Are you kidding me right now? What kind of a punk do you look like right now? This is sad. This is sad. Part of the reason your community does not advance and the reason your community is enslaved is because black men have not been allowed to think. I'm not telling you.
Now, guys, that's Boyce Watkins' clip, and I get that. And what we're dealing with is, you know, brother Boyce Watkins saying that Kanye West, you know, he's telling some truth. And whenever the black man is telling some truth, he's going to get scrutinized. And if you guys don't believe me, I want you to listen to Malcolm X talk about this December 3rd, 1964 at the Oxford Union debate.
You make my point. That as long as a white man does it, it's all right. A black man is supposed to have no feelings. But when a black man strikes back, he's an extremist. He's supposed to sit passively and have no feelings, be nonviolent, and love his enemy. No matter what kind of attack, be it verbal or otherwise, he's supposed to take it. But if he stands up and in any way tries to defend himself, then he's an extremist.
So let me just say this. Can Kanye be saying some truthful things? For sure. Absolutely. Right? We all know that there's some things that could be said, right? That are positive. But I'll get back to that. Wack 100 also called out Noreaga because the video was removed. Nore went on to the Breakfast Club and said that, you know, he supports freedom of speech. He don't want anybody to be censored. But, you know, when he was saying these things about George Floyd and in the Jewish community, Nore was there. He wasn't tripping, right? But because of the backlash, now he's pulling this video down. And Wack 100 is 100% right in criticizing Nore. By trying to like deflect from the fact that, you know, he asked these questions and Kanye said it. Let's play the clip.
Nore, fuck you, bro. But I just heard that Breakfast Club shit. Nah, bro, we street, bro. We know we doing what we doing. That's one thing about us, Nore. And I fuck with you, but What you can't do is act like you wasn't hearing what you was hearing and act like you had a problem with it when you was hearing it. Because we know you didn't have a problem with it. You didn't have a problem with the calling Puff a Fed, then that's on Revolt. Like, that's Puff Network. But if you gonna fuck with Ye, bro. We all disagree and agree with some shit Ye says. You know what I'm saying? And that's just our personal opinion. But all the apologies to the family and all this shit, like you all of a sudden anti-Ye, that ain't gangster, homie. No, you a stand-up dude, bro. Just simply say you let that man do his interview because it's Kanye West, it's Ye, right? You didn't want him to walk out because at the same token, I just went and checked. If you that emotional about this, why is it still up? You still reaping the benefits of the views, bro. If it's that serious, like, bro, don't play off into the politics, bro. Stand on your square like you always did, bro. You didn't have no problem with that man speaking his opinion because it was his opinion. Don't let him put it on you. Tell him address Ye. You there to ask a question to get a motherfucking answer. You ain't the judge and jury to that, but don't flip it, bro. Like all of a sudden, I got at Ye after the fact. And if you didn't get at Ye right then and there like you always do when he said what he said, you know.
So this is actually before the video was taken down. Nori has taken the video down. He has now distanced himself from Kanye. Now Nori is known as a guy that's a stand-up guy in the industry, and you know he seems to be a little fake. And I think that he really didn't have a problem with what Ye was saying, but because, you know, for the fact that Ye said he was going to leave the interview, and you know Ye being drunk or Kanye being drunk, but still being Kanye, being very focused in the interview, calling out some of the things there. I want to just say this for all the people who are upset, right? Number one, we are still in the same position as blacks as we were in the 60s, okay? Except for in the 60s, we were talking about, you know, the white man. Now we're talking about other folks, okay? And here's what needs to happen for the people like Boyce Watkins and all of that. If you have a problem with what's going on, and certainly we all do the work to own the industry, like the other people have done the work to own the industry. That's what we need to do. I hear so much criticism of, you know, well, they can say whatever they want to say about black people. You can say whatever you want to say about blacks. But when you say it about the other groups, there's a problem. Yes, that's because the other groups own these industries. We don't. Why don't we? Nothing's stopping us from doing that. Okay? Nothing is stopping us from owning stuff. And sometimes people believe like, oh, well, Kanye can say whatever he wants about the black community, and he can't say whatever he wants about other communities. That's not a good argument. I'm sorry. Folks ain't gonna like it. We have a lot of work to do in the black community. And when you want to have those conversations about people that you don't agree with, and their people own Facebook, they own YouTube, they own Google, because I believe even the CEO of YouTube is a European Jewish lady, and even some of the founders are partly that. We already know Zuckerberg is Jewish and he's owner of Facebook. So then you have to be competitive as a group. That's the answer. And we can't get away from hard work. And if Kanye, if you don't like how the hip hop industry is, you've been making beats for these rappers for all these years. In that same industry, you done made your money in. So why is it a problem? Because I saw Jay-Z talked about in Rockefeller was that. You make songs and beats with collaborations with artists. All they talk about is that. So why you got a problem with it now? If you didn't have a problem with it, why were you in the industry? It's hypocritical. And again, for those folks who have an issue with it, let's get to do the work. Because your argument can be right, like Malcolm X's argument was right. But when you don't have the power, how can you force the arguments to be what they are? But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of The Celebrity Junk. Appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe, hit the bell. We're out.